very good morning to one and all present here. As we begin this, I would first request all the respected delegates to come over to the stage. On behalf of the organizing team and on my own behalf, I take immense pleasure in welcoming everybody who's present in this August gathering here for the inaugural ceremony of the G20 Library Summit, which is entitled, as you all know, Connecting Nations for Knowledge and Cultural Heritage. First, allow me to extend a very warm welcome to our esteemed guests of honor. As I mentioned earlier, Dr. Andrei Sokolov, who is Director for Business Development at Moscow, Russia, Professor Borayan Larios from the French Institute of Pondicherry, Professor Konstantin Matok Nyamboga, Vice Chancellor Lukania University, Kenya, and Professor Devika Madali, Director at Inflibnet Center, Ahmedabad. A very special welcome to our own esteemed colleagues, our esteemed and honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K. Tarani Karasu, our Director for Culture and Cultural Relations, Professor Clement S. Lourdes, our librarian, who is also the organizing secretary of this conference, Dr. Vijay Kumar M., Dr. Bhaskar and Dr. Shibu K. M., assistant librarians. I would also like to extend special welcome to other colleagues who are present here, Dr. Panch Ramalingam, Director, MMTTC, Pondicherry University, and Dr. Arvind Gupta, Director, Distance Education at Pondicherry University, who have helped immensely in the organization. The other members who are present here from the administration, Professor Rajneesh Bhutani, Registrar of the University, Professor Lazar, the Finance Officer of the University, Mr. Sadanand Swami, Controller of Examination, many deans, faculty members who are present here. Please receive my most warm welcome on this occasion. Research scholars who are present here, paper presenters, and all the students. A very warm welcome to all of you. Going with the tradition of the university, we would begin this inaugural ceremony by our university anthem by way of showing our gratitude and respect to the institution. I would now request all the delegates on the stage to step forward for the lighting of the lamp. Thank you so much. Interestingly, as I was going through the books of my daughter's course, who is in 5th standard this year, I came across 2 poems on books. One is in English by Eleanor Farjeon. What worlds of wonder are our books as one opens them and looks. New ideas and people rise in our fancies and our eyes, and it goes on. And I found another one in her Hindi book written by a famous Hindi writer, Kamla Bhasin, which goes like this. Kitabon ki duniya mein paya khajana, ye saathi meri, ye mera aashiana, meaning that I found treasure in the world of books. They are my friends, they are my home. And we all are, familiar that such is the power of books. And we wonder what would be the power of libraries that hold books. There is also an African proverb that comes to mind, which says that when an old person dies in Africa, it is considered to be a library burnt. Such is the power that holds, that libraries hold. And, when burning is evoked, we all, our collective, Indian collective memory goes back to the burning of the Nalanda, the glorious library that, we had, which was burnt down, and it took 3 months for all the books, to get completely burnt. Here at home, at Pondicherry University, also we are too proud of our library, Ananda Rangapillai Library, that has received over time numerous awards and distinctions since its inception in 1986. The library is renowned for its disabled-friendly modern infrastructure, fully air-conditioned, Wi-Fi enabled services for visually challenged, among the proactive services like the RIFD technology, 24/7 remote access to a collection of over 6 lakh, of which print is 2.151, e-resources, e-journals, e-thesis, etc. And we're really proud of this summit today, the G20 Library Summit, which is in fact a pioneering initiative. It's a pioneering international event dedicated to advancing the role of libraries and knowledge dissemination, education, as well as cultural preservation. And today, this summit brings together people from different disciplines, library professionals, policy makers, educators, IT professionals, management professionals, cultural experts, etc., from different parts of the world. This conference is sponsored by ICSSR, by Rajaram Mohan Roy Library Foundation, Calcutta, and by our own beloved esteemed Director of Culture and Cultural Relations, Professor Clement Lutz. And at this point, I would also like to place on hold the fact that the conference site was actually viewed by around 85 delegates from 85 countries, which of course enhance the visibility of G20 itself. And this conference is going to have a program which includes around 200 papers. So we are already really proud of this. And at this point, I would like to invite Dr. Vijay Kumar M., the Chief Librarian at Pondicherry University, who is also the main man behind the show today, as he is the organizing secretary of this summit. Today, he will read to us first the Prime Minister's message, which we happened to receive yesterday for this summit, and after that, he will deliver the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Kalai Vanakkam, Namaste, good morning to all. Respected dignitaries on the dais, of the dais. My assignment is to read the message passed by the Prime Minister of India. It is as it is. A Prime Minister message. It is most heartening to learn about G20 Library Summit, connecting the nations for knowledge and cultural heritage, being organized at Pondicherry University. For countries, our socio-cultural fabric has been woven with an enduring tradition of relentless pursuit of knowledge. Our spirituals say, Namasti Vidya Maha Chashugna, meaning there are no eyes akin to learning. Books have for long been regarded as a humanity's best friends, as they help us delve into the depths of a wide array of subjects that include philosophy, language, literature, and build our intellectual prowess. Our libraries and reading rooms are vast repository of various subjects to fulfill the requirements of information, knowledge, and entertainment. Libraries have traditionally been places where great ideas were absorbed as well as born. Keeping pace with changing times, our libraries have reoriented themselves to the needs of readers by adopting the latest technologies. We have been single-minded in our endeavor to significantly boost the habit of reading among young people. The rising popularity of digital books and audiobooks is revolutionizing reading habits in the 21st century. Yet, at the same time, there is also an increased interest in traditional books and libraries. The sharing of best practices by various nations at the G20 Library Summit will be an enriching experience for all. I am sure that students, research scholars, academicians, librarians, as well as domain experts will learn from each other. This will also help form abiding relationship with each other and with the pursuit of knowledge. Best wishes for the success of the G20 Library Summit 2024, signed by our Prime Minister of India with place in New Delhi, dated 6th February 2024. Thank you. I got one more opportunity to greet our all esteemed guests on the dais and the delegates. Once again, as usual, I welcome Vanakkam, Namaste, good morning to all. It's my great honor and privilege to extend warm welcome to each one of you as we gather here for inaugural ceremony of G20 Library Summit. This momentous occasion brings together minds from across the various nations, united by shared commitment to the indispensable role that libraries play in shaping the intellectual and cultural fabrics of our society. It is my great pleasure to welcome Professor Tarunikarsu, the Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University, to the inaugural function of the G20 Library Summit. Under the visionary leadership of our Vice Chancellor, it has been a beacon of academic excellence and has played a crucial role in shaping the minds of the future. Another thing, the beauty of our Vice Chancellor is what he will assign some works to all the people. Those who perform the works with 100%, once again, he will get the 1 hour assignment. Otherwise, you won't get an assignment. Sir, anyway, we welcome you for this inaugural function. It is an honor to welcome Professor Devika P. Madarli, the Director of Information Library Network, Ahmedabad, to this inaugural function of G20 Library Summit. Professor Modelli is a respected figure in the field of information science, library networks, and digital libraries. Her contribution to the academic and professional realms have been significant, and we privileged to have her here with us today. It's my pleasure to highlight that Professor P. Devika Modelli is the first lady director for Information Library Network, Gandhinagar. Another is there, once again, one more, the feather for me and us is, she is the first South Indian Director of Information Library Network, Ahmedabad. Ma'am, with your visitor, thanks for showing your presence in our inaugural function. Ma'am, we welcome you. We are privileged to have with us a distinguished personality who has been an innovator in the field of sketch, art, and English literature, none other than Professor Clement S. Lutz, Director of Culture and Cultural Relation at Pondicherry University. The director has been driving force behind the fostering cultural exchange and understanding. There is a proverb, charity begins at home. You know what happened? We got an approval from the competent authority to conduct the G20 Library Summit at our campus. The next is, means finance. What to do? Then we are discussing with all our staff, all our, our library professions across India, we are discussing. Meanwhile, this word goes to the ear of our director, Professor Clement Lutz. You know what happened? In fine, one morning, he came with a check. Vijay, I'm donating 1 lakh rupees to you for the program. Then I saw the check. It was amount of 1 lakh rupees. That in the beginning, 1 lakh rupees. Then, sir, it's a huge amount. I denied, sorry. It told, no, it is determined. I will hand over to you. Immediately, what I did? I have taken the check and put it in front of the God. What it has been, this check became a Akshaya Patra for us. It was doubling, believe it or not, from 1 lakh to, it went to 20 lakhs. Sir, thanks for your kind heartness, and we welcome you for this inaugural function. Thank you. It's my great honor to welcome Professor Constantine Matoko Nyambogo, the Vice Chancellor of Lukene University, Kenya, to the G20 Library Summit. We are delighted to have a representative from such a prestigious institution joining us for this important gathering, that too from African Union, Kenya country. Lukene University plays a crucial role in shaping the future of education and knowledge dissemination in Kenya, and we look forward to hearing valuable insights from the Vice Chancellor during the summit. Sir, we welcome you for this inaugural function. As we embark on this journey of once again I'll repeat it, please note that. As we embark on this journey of knowledge exchange and collaboration during the G20 Library Summit, let us draw inspiration from the Professor Brian Laurius from France. He is the HOD of Indology, French Institute of Indology. Sir, we welcome you also for this inaugural function. It is with great pleasure that we extend a warm welcome to Mr. Andrew Sokolov, Director of Business Development at Neopisk Limited, Moscow, Russia, who is representing the European Union to this G20 Library Summit. Neopisk Limited commitment to the business development and its contribution to the intellectual landscape make your insights particularly valuable in the discussion which is going to ahead. We look forward to hearing your prospective ideas and experience during this summit. Sir, we welcome you for this inaugural function. It's my pleasure to welcome Shri Lokumat Chandra from Germany and is the director of Aravela Institute of Technology for this inaugural function. Sir, we welcome you. Yes, I welcome our administrative authority, Professor Rajneesh Bhutani, the registrar, Pondicherry University, who advised me since beginning how to move the file so that it should be clear during the auditing time. Whenever I will go meet our registrar, is told, please don't come here. I know you are busy with some work. Kind your staff, sir. Thanks for your kind words, which is moving into the action. This made me to breathe smoothly to under the what are the activities I have to do in this program because of you only. Thank you, sir. Meanwhile, I welcome you also, sir. Meanwhile, I will welcome our controller of examination, Sri Saranda Swamiji. I welcome Dr. Arvind Gupta ji, the Directorate of Distance Education. I welcome the deans, all deans, in the absence of the finance officer and all our administrative and academic authorities. Meanwhile, I have a long list. Just I will spell out only some name who came across in India. Otherwise, if I left some names, kindly don't mind because this is only to save the valuable time of yours. I may spend 5 minutes, but around 300 people are there. 5 into 300, 1,500. So we are wasting 1,500 minutes. So I will go through only a few names. Yes, Professor Rath, the Vice Chancellor of Mizoram University, Dr. Ramesh Gaur, the Director and the Dean, IGNCA. Then, yes, Professor Konnur, the Director, LIS Academy. Professor Chandrasekhar Rao, the CDC Director. Professor Lakshman Rao, the former Dean and UGC Member Fellows, Usmania University. Dr. Lata from the Ministry, who is also helping us behind the screen for a long time. We welcome the Director, IGNCA, Pondicherry branch. I welcome all the Professor S. Ravi from Central Institute, Tamil Nadu, Dr. Venkatesh. Yes, another thing, what will happen for each and everything, there will be I have to say sorry, but our Dr. Sangeeta Kaul, the Director, Delnet, she told, no need to worry, Dr. Vijay, no need to worry, I am here with you always. Ma'am, thanks for kind words since beginning, we welcome you. Then the Professor Sinha, and we welcome our Library Advisory Committee member, Dr. D.V. Singh, and all the members, all Library Advisory Committee, our Dean, Professor Mohanty sir, and all our delegates, invited speakers, a chair, co-chair, repetier, co-repetier. Most importantly, our loving delegates were supporting to conduct this program. Then what else? Yes, I am thankful to, I welcome organizing committee, volunteers, dedicated staff of our library staff who are there here and there. Where the media person from DD and All India Radio, administrative wing, finance wing, electrical wing, P&D section, and guest house authorities, we express your gratitude and we welcome for the function. Yes, if I left someone, it is not intentionally, unintentionally, sorry for the same. As we embark on this journey of exploration, collaboration and innovation, let us embrace this opportunity to collectively shape the future of libraries. May the next few days be filled with meaningful conversation, new connections and the exchange of knowledge that will resonate for beyond the confines of this summit. Thank you all for being here, and I wish you a fruitful and inspiring G20 Library Summit at Pondicherry, University, Pondicherry. Namaste to all.
Thank you so much, sir, for so graciously welcoming all our guests of honor, and the other delegates off and on the stage today, and also for making us aware on the struggles of organizing a conference, a summit of that level and that stage. It is always encouraging for the participants to know what happened behind the scenes, how much effort has been put into the organization before we begin the conference. So thank you so much for setting the right tone for this conference. And at this note, I would now invite Dr. Shibu, Assistant Librarian at Pondicherry University, to discuss the scope of the conference. To you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, Professor K. Taranikarasu, Vice Chancellor, Pondicherry University, Professor Clement Lu, Director, Culture and Cultural Relations, Pondicherry University, Professor Devika P. Madalli, Director, InflipNet, Professor Constantine Matoke, Vice Chancellor, Lukinio University, Mr. Andrei Sokolov, Borain Larios from French Institute, Pondicherry, Dr. M. Bhaskar, Assistant Librarian, respected dignitaries of the dais, think tanks, stalwarts in information industry in India and across G20 countries, officers, my fellow colleagues, participants, research scholars, students, and all other who gathered for this wonderful morning. It gives me immense pleasure. It's indeed an honor for me to present the concept note of the G20 Library Summit, connecting the world, connecting the countries for knowledge and cultural heritage. When this idea was incubated, when this concept was erased, we thought of conducting a program on bridging knowledge for the sustainable development. At that time, India was holding the presidency of G20 countries. In fact, we wanted to have it during that period. We had a brainstorming with highly specialized people in information industry from across the globe. We invited people from Germany, Russia, France, UK, Bangladesh, Maldives, and of course from India. We had this brainstorming. The outcome of this brainstorming, this discussion, the crux, the cream of the discussion was, instead of going for this, you should have a cooperation. You should have a collaboration. There should be some platform to share your own knowledge, your own culture, your own heritage. And there is no platform to share among the G20 countries. So that's how we landed onto the G20 Library Summit, connecting nations for the knowledge and cultural heritage. Since then, we have been sleeping on it, eating on it, dreaming on it, to bring all the people, all the information professionals, all the policy makers, all the educators, all the government organization, think tank people, all the representatives from the different organizations, association into one platform, so that where we can discuss about the problem in the G20 countries. There are huge money investing on the information industry. So where we can find the possibility of sharing the knowledge, sharing the infrastructure, though it be tangible or non-tangible. So it can help all the libraries in the G20 countries. And when we were talking about some of the professors, they thought that this is one another conference or international seminar we are conducting. No, it is not. It is one of the unique. It is first of its kind, but it is very concrete. We want the audience to be very serious. There are 103 articles papers submitted to the, accepted in this G20 Library Summit. We thought that we could discourse, and the final output we can represent, we can give to the association, organization, governments, and all the people. So our humble request to the audience is to please engage yourself in active discussion, active participation, put up your experience, expertise, so that we can build a new world. We can build a new platform for the sharing of the knowledge, for the sharing of the culture, for imparting a new era, for imparting the knowledge, education, everything among the G20 countries. We have a huge participation from different countries. We have a good number of papers we received. All these has been categorized. It is structured in 9 technical sessions. There is 1 plenary talk. There is 1 panel discussion. And we will be discussing and debating all these on different sub-themes over the couple of coming days. And the sub-themes like global information access, preserving indigenous knowledge and languages, digital transformation of libraries, public libraries as cultural heritage, preservation and access centers, international collaboration and policy and advocacy for libraries, promoting literacy and lifelong learning, libraries as catalyst for sustainable development, future of libraries in a changing world, emerging technologies and trends for transformation of libraries. With this note, I would like to conclude here. Thank you very much for your patience listening. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shibu, for giving us an insight into the conceptualization of this summit, and also for highlighting the main themes of this conference, and also for emphasizing on the fact that libraries should no longer be seen as passive receptors of books, but that they are now, in today's world, high-tech world, quite instrumental in determining various things like knowledge dissemination and contributing to sustainable development on the national as well as the international front. Thank you so much. We would now like to request the delegates to release the book of abstracts of the conference. Mr. Andrei Sokolov, who has a master's in library and information science. He is currently the director for business development at Neopoisk Limited, Moscow, Russia. Prior to this, he worked for over 16 years for EBSCO Publishing as RSM for Russia and CIS region. He has held leading positions at the National Library of Belarus. He possesses strong expertise in the area of e-resources, discovery services, and integrated library systems. He has co-authored an e-book, and I would not be able to pronounce the title of it because it is in Russian. Please excuse me for that. He has, in addition to that e-book, several publications, all devoted to issues of e-resources promotion. Sir, we are very glad to have you here and look forward to hearing from you.
Namaste. Good morning. Good morning, my dear friends and colleagues. My name is Andrei Sokolov. I came to this important library summit from Russia, and I'm very glad to be here with all of you. First of all, I want to thank the summit organizers and the host for your kind invitation. The purpose of my visit here is to get connected with librarians and publishers from Bharat. My strong belief is that building new and strengthening existing bridges between our countries is extremely important to support the direction of our leaders Vladimir Putin, the President of Russia, and Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India. Libraries play a significant role in many areas: education of young people, support of research in variety of disciplines, promotion of culture, and support of traditional values, to name a few. It is very important what will be the first book our kids will look at, and what literature will accompany new generation of young people, what values they will grow with. It is in a librarian's hand to decide what our readers can see when they enter the library building or library website. We live in the age of information boom and overload. The mission of university librarian nowadays has changed from collecting everything to collecting the best. It is librarian who has to protect our students and professors from predatory journals and books. New technologies play a significant role in day-to-day library operations. That is why, to keep up to date, library professionals and decision makers have to share their experience with their peers. This event is the right place to do so. An example is the software developed by Indian company Eclat Engineering that enables comfortable user experience, the accessing remotely a wide range of subscribed electronic resources 24/7 with a single authentication. For example, Russian libraries were not prepared for COVID restrictions when pandemic started. Suddenly, the libraries in my country were closed, and valuable electronic resources, which are IP authenticated, became not available to users. Only few academic libraries who implemented this kind of service solution were able to continue serving their students and research staff. Cultural and academic exchange continues to be of great importance. So, as it was nearly 100 years ago, when prominent Indian library scientist and mathematician Dr. Sharli Ranganathan, who laid the foundation for library science with its fundamental 5 laws of librarianship in 1931, the facet classification theory announced in 1933, and his role in improving the library science education, so it is important nowadays to continue academic exchange. Dr. Lata Suresh, most recent visit to Russia, where she attended a library conference in Suzdal, contributed to establishing new contacts. Dr. Lata's speech was encouraging Russian librarians to discover new trends such as artificial intelligence and augmented reality in library setting. I represent a big Russian publisher holding and aggregator of academic literature. My colleague and myself mission is to represent the achievements of Indian research and science for Russian university by providing access to Indian journals and books. My mission would not be possible without help and support of our business partner, Amit Kumar Shukla, who is well known not only in India and Russia, but in many countries around the world. What I said above justifies the statement of importance of this event as we have today. I wish all of us fruitful time and productive work at this summit, and I'm very happy to be here, and I'm sure we will contribute to each other. Thank you very much for your hospitality.
Thank you so much, Mr. Andrei Sokolov, for in fact etching out interesting historical details on the exchanges between India and Russia in terms of library sciences. And interestingly, that also takes me back to my childhood days, to the glorious days of relationship between India and Russia, when the Indian markets used to be full of books from Russia, in Russian as well as in English. And many of us in those days have benefited enormously from that exchange in terms of knowledge and books. Thank you so much. Next in line is Professor Brian Larius, who's currently head of the Indology Department at the French Institute of Pondicherry. He's a scholar with a comprehensive approach to studying Hinduism, emphasizing and interdisciplinary methodology. His academic pursuits interestingly encompass religious studies and classical Indology, with a focus on the confluence of religious orthodoxy and heterodoxy, scriptural oral traditions, local trans-regional expressions, and the interplay between tradition and modernity among diverse social groups in South Asia. He earned his doctorate in classical Indology from University of Heidelberg in Germany 2013 and has established himself as an expert in contemporary Indian religions. He has a keen interest in the science of sounds, and from what I believe, he is currently working on the politics of mantras. After working in numerous research projects in Germany and in France, he served also as a faculty member in the Department of South Asian, Tibetan and Buddhist Studies at the University of Vienna, Australia till 2023, and now here he is with us today. We keenly look forward to your address.
Dear Dr. Vijay Kumar, dear Professor Tarani Karasu, esteemed and distinguished guests, colleagues and friends, good morning, and thank you for the honor of addressing this esteemed gathering at the G20 Library Summit on Connecting Nations for Knowledge and Cultural Heritage. Again, my name is Borjin Larios, and I'm privileged to represent the French Institute of Pondicherry as the head of the Indology department today. Libraries to me are not just repositories of books. For me, they are sacred spaces where the ideas flourish and cultural heritage is meticulously preserved. Having spent a significant part of my academic journey, and in fact of my life, within the welcoming walls of libraries, I've witnessed the transformative power of these institutions. And today I'm standing here before you entrusted also with preserving the rich manuscript collection at the French Institute of Pondicherry. And I'm humbled and grateful for the opportunity to contribute to the preservation of source material for generations to come. The IFP Library was founded in 1955 and is a testament to collaborative efforts. It has evolved into a multidisciplinary research hub, boasting a collection spanning Indology, social sciences, and ecology. With over 69,000 books, 380 theses, and over 1,600 articles, 440 reports, and 760 journals, the IFP Library is a treasure trove of knowledge. In the realm of ecology, our library focuses on the forest ecology of South India with a wealth of information on the Western Ghats. The manuscript collection, initiated in 1956, comprises approximately 8,500 palm leaf codices recognized by the UNESCO as Memory of the World. Beyond manuscripts, the Indology collection covers Indian literature, grammar, shastras, religion, art, archaeology, epigraphy, astrology, traditional medicine, and much more. In our commitment to the preservation and dissemination of knowledge, the French Institute of Pondicherry embraces the digital era. Most of us love books, like I do, but also work a lot with computers nowadays and digital documents. At the EFP, we recognize the transformative potential of digital resources for scholarship, ensuring broader accessibility and global collaboration, as is also the theme of this conference. The digitalization of manuscripts and the integration of digital tools into our research processes mark our dedication to embracing the future while safeguarding the treasures of the past. as we discuss the interconnectedness of nations through libraries, let us recognize their pivotal role in preserving cultural heritage. The EFP Library, with its diverse collections, stands as a beacon of scholarly collaboration, emphasizing the importance of libraries in shaping our shared intellectual landscape. In conclusion, let's affirm our commitment to the preservation and dissemination of knowledge across borders, and together as custodians of cultural heritage, we can ensure that libraries continue to serve as bridges connecting nations and generations to come. Thank you for your attention and your shared dedication to the pursuit of knowledge.
Thank you, Professor Larios, for emphasizing on the fact that libraries are also places for cultural preservation. They're places of cultural heritage. And we are also, very thankful for your presence here today. A very last minute. We are thankful that you accepted it at the last minute. And your presence here is very important for us to represent the French Institute as well as the work of l'École Française d'Extrême-Orient, which are libraries/museums. And when one evokes the idea of a museum, one thinks of a past that just needs to be, kept away, preserved and kept away. But these are the places, in my own personal interaction with the people who are working there, and many of you would agree with me, these are not just museums, they are live and active spaces which connect, as he rightly said, past and future, which sort of animates the past, presents the past in interesting ways by the work which is going on there, to bring it in a fashion that it becomes alive for our present and future understandings, especially for preservation of culture, for sustainable development, etc. So thank you so much for your presence here today. Now I would call upon Professor Constantine Matok Nyamboga, who is currently the Vice Chancellor at Lukenya University. He is a professor of information systems and knowledge management, a holder of PhD in information sciences with specialization in knowledge management from Bangalore University, India. He has worked in various management capacities at several universities, Egerton University being one, Kisii University, as well as Mount Kenya University. He is the founding Dean of School of Information Sciences and Technology at Kisii University and founding principal of Mount Kenya University. As an academician and a scholar, Professor Nyamboga has supervised over 45 masters, 2 PhD students, and attracted both research and development grants. He has published over 50 peer-reviewed research papers and attended several international conferences. We are very happy to have you here, and we look forward to hearing.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Namaste. Bolo. Before I go to my mainstream, I recognize the presence of the Vice Chancellor here, who may have not been a librarian like me, because again, in many institutions, sometimes people don't recognize that people in information science can become managers. But I'll assure you, Mr. Vice Chancellor, that we are among, these people seated here are among the best managers in the world. Can you clap for yourselves? So if they are given a chance, in USA we have the University of Wisconsin. The Vice Chancellor is former librarian. In India there are many. We had Mysore University setting an example, because the registrar was also the dean, later he became a Vice Chancellor. Then again in Bangalore, my own supervisor, TTK Kemparaj, became also a Vice Chancellor in one of the universities there. And in South Africa, we have such so many. Now, I also recognize the presence of Professor Sangita. It is because of Sangita Kaur that I am here. Not because of inviting me, But the first time we met, she encouraged me to be publishing, and I never stopped. When I was a student at Bangalore pursuing my PhD, we met first at Hyderabad. She made me know Calcutta because we had a conference at Calcutta, and I was encouraged to know where Calcutta was, and even I visited what we call Mama Teresa's grave, the famous Sister Teresa. Then, of course, I can also recognize the presence of Rex Manlau, but today is a bit brown. The first time I was with him, it was quite dark, and we were saying we are all Africans. When I met him at Osmania University, he also visited us at Bangalore. So he's like my elder brother. I'm happy to see you again. So, and many others. I know people like Maiswarapa of Karnataka were friends of mine. I can't forget them. Karistaba was a famous, is also a friend of Raxmanlal. Then many others. Having said that, before I go to my few remarks, I have to announce one or two things. I've come here courtesy of friends that decided that I must connect with India. But again, I've been connecting with India because it's India that makes me what I am today. I even worked with the Embassy of India in Nairobi. They employed me immediately I finished my master's because I was also in Aurangabad. I went through Maradwata and supervised by a lady called Aswanath. She's a professor. I think if she's there, she must be emeritus now. So it's like my master's and my PhD were all in India. I worked for the Indian government in Nairobi, and before I proceeded to the university. That's why I'm saying I am here. If it was not the Indian knowledge I have, maybe I would have not been what I am today. So I respect your education. I'm here to collaborate. Those who would want to see me, they would see me. I am a very simple vice chancellor, like your vice chancellor. It's because maybe I've gone through the Indian system. And I'm very simple as an Indian here. So don't see me not as an Indian. I can speak Marathi, I can speak Kannada, I can speak maybe one or two words in Telugu. Today again I may speak Tamil. Yeah? So meaning at least if you cannot speak English, maybe the way I may speak, you will mix. You can break your Tamil, I can get one word, but mix with the Hindi so that I can get one or two words. Then secondly, those who are interested to come to my country, I've been to India since I got my master's in 1993. Virtually after 2004, every year I've been coming on my own, and my main station has been in Bangalore because they normally invite me there. But I'm saying if you would want to come, especially librarians, I'm requesting the Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry to ensure that those ones of Pondicherry Library, he agrees, sponsors one of you to attend one of our biggest conference for Africa, which will be hosted in Kenya, in a coastal town called Mombasa. We have Mombasa, Nairobi, we have Nakuru, and Kisumu. Those are big cities, but I'll assure you, every city has more than 10% of the population there will be of Indian origin. Currently, my member of parliament, who stays in our Rajya Sabha, here I know you have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, is an Indian. We voted for him, not that he had Indian people to vote for him, because he got about 90,000 votes. Indians there about 3,000. Means he does very good work for us. So we voted for him. Kenya, partly, about 20% of the population is Indian. So, and currently my chancellor, my pro-chancellor, is an Indian origin of Nagpur. He's called Dr. Eda Prakash. Because of me, I had to pick the names of people I understand better. And one of the council members also comes from Rajapur. It's called Zanjin. They are both, I think they are both Kenyan, they are both Indian, because they have dual citizenship. So every time they are here. So having finished with that, lastly, I love trees. We plant trees. Our philosophy is green because, again, we are saying because of climate change, the power of trees will ensure that you have rain. Rain is life. Trees also contribute to life and so forth. Then I also have marathon. If you feel you can run, Kenya is a marathon, has given birth to marathons or marathoners, both women and men. We are champions in the world. You can always watch. My university is hosting marathon next month on the 24th. if you have a child who's strong in running 42 kilometers, you'll get my address, just tell me, I'll give him accommodation, I'll give him food for free, but he can run because I can't run for him. So that he can win you'll get about 5 lakhs, because you can get 5 lakhs, that 42 kilometers, 5 lakhs for women, 5 lakhs for men. That's an encouragement for our sports people. But again, it's global. So I'll leave you those contacts if you're interested. Of course, then I'll host you. Distinguished guests, you'll give me another 3 minutes. You know, I'm an Indian, so you'll give me a few minutes now. Distinguished guests, fellow knowledge managers, scholars, ladies and gentlemen. I pass you greetings from Kenya, Mwaso, from Kenya University, where I am the Vice Chancellor. Please allow me to express this as a belated Happy New Year for all of you. Happy New Year once again. I'm honored to be among the speakers in this auspicious occasion of the G20 Library Summit, themed Connecting Nations for Knowledge and Cultural Heritage. Thank you very much for this honor. I'm indeed grateful. Now, in this address, part of my background as an information scientist and Vice Chancellor, I would like to underscore the place of the library in the world today. This is a topic that is almost commonplace, but in my view, it's yet to be understood. For a moment, let us reflect on the place of the library in the digital era and what evolutionary potencies emerge with this that warrant ethical thoughts and etiquette frameworks. I would like to appreciate the wisdom of Australia chief scientist, who in the year 2012 observed that with the internet, iPads, Kindles, e-readers, and the whole e-osphere, accessing information has completely changed, which means libraries evolved as a result. Here I quote, "A library's status is no longer defined by the collection it housed. It is extended to include online and seamless access to information resources. The right amount of information at the right time has long since been an important factor for all kinds of libraries. Accordingly, therefore, libraries have been thought of as being expert at correcting and organizing published information. This is certainly true. Having libraries and librarians as the custodians of managing and disseminating our information remains very important. Now, if you look at from a scenario of the library in the digital era, then with the advent of technological advancement and explosion, some people were tempted to believe that this will mark the end of writing books, the death of bookshops and libraries. This was based on a false premise that all writings will migrate to the digital platform. However, today we still see books being written and sold. Every day, newspapers are written and sold, despite the fact the digital versions are received faster, almost instant. This is so because books have entrenched a reading culture into people, and so are newspapers, which translates to a finding that libraries will always be there. However, technology is a changed reality, and as it is often said than not, if we don't change, change will change us. Libraries are no exception. Technology as a reality, as the import that the library must not be left behind. Digitizers of the library was cornerstone in facilitating teaching and learning during the COVID-19 pandemic, and has become the foundation stone for online distance electronic learning in the present day. Indeed, there is plenty of library resources, e-resources, as well as the emergence of digital libraries, which is a positive move on the evolution of the library. Given both our own reliance on technology as well as its impact on the achievement of a wide library goals, evolutions in this space are particularly relevant for our own field to consider. In my view, the more the internet becomes part of our practice and our individual and collective lives in general, the more interest we have in making it work properly. When it comes to library and internet, many issues emerge that demand a discourse. The first one, ongoing tensions between privacy and fighting harmful content. The issue is what content the library and the digital library should enhance. Recently, there have been concerns regarding sites that students, especially at university and research centers, could be accessing as opposed to study materials. Right to access information versus right to privacy, among others. Number two, intermediary liability under the microscope. Closely linked to the above is the question of the future of the major intermediaries, because we have been looking at ourselves as intermediaries between the users or the patrons and the books. But again, remember now, our major intermediaries such as Google, Facebook, and even now TikTok. These platforms provide information, some which may not be factual, yet easily consumed, than that found in the books. I'm not accusing these platforms of being agents of false information or of fake news, but rather encouraging positivity. These days it's easier for someone to create a Wikipedia account and upload information that ends up in a scholarly dispute. Now, number three on this, the need to protect libraries from punitive regulations. Further, this is further linked to the above, is that the risk that where digital legislation is made, there isn't adequate consideration of libraries and their needs. This is particularly the case where governments look to regulate major problems. I know the government here, that's what I'm saying also, given that the same rules can end up applying to the open access and open education repositories run or used by libraries. Then we have the issue of AI, artificial intelligence, and the fourth generation, which should always be addressed by all of us. Now, this has become an interesting concept that is the beginning. This has become an interesting concept that is beginning to be talked about, is that of the fourth generation rights. The right of people to be independent individuals in a world where choices are increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence. Given that AI, of course, is based on past trends, it can risk rocking the present and limiting the freedom to take different decisions in future. Obvious examples include e-book platforms, which are curated by a centrally run algorithm, or where materials disappear without warning. These are clearly issues where we need to work to maintain, to maintain our freedom of movement. Digital inclusion, the need to keep a focus on making sure that everyone is able to benefit from the potential of the internet, keeping people safe, ensuring that platforms work for all, connectivity, stronger, and so forth. In conclusion, once upon a time, an acknowledged speaker said the following about the library, which I would like to borrow verbatim. A library is a key to the world. When you open a book, whether physical or digital, you open a door to a new world. You can learn about different countries, cultures, animals, and even other space, all while sitting in a chair. A library is a place that gives you the power to explore the world without leaving your town. A library is a friend who is always there for you, no matter what you are curious about. Be it animals, magic tricks, or how to make a cake. The library is there to help. It will provide you books that will answer all your questions. And the best part is, it will never say, I don't know, because there is always a book that has the answer. A library is a place to fly imagination. When you read a storybook, you can imagine yourself as the prince or princess, the detective or the superhero. You can go on adventures without any danger. It's like watching a movie, but in your head, and you are the director. There are many items and facts written or spoken of and about the library. But for today, let me stop at these three and conclude by saying that from this G20 Library Summit, may we advance the place of a library in our lives. May we always do this with love, honesty, and passion, for we hold the key to the world, a friend that is always there as we fly imaginations to greater heights of everyone's dreams. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Professor Nyamboga. for a wonderful talk that was so rich in content, and I'm really sorry to have cut you short because there are other participants who have to leave, so there is a constraint of time. But we are very happy to know about your experiences in India and your relationship with India, and the transnational relationship you evoked between Africa and India, and we really look forward to several collaborations with your university. Moving on, I would like to invite our own Director for Culture and Cultural Relations, who is pretty well known to all, Professor Clement S. Lords.
Respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Tarnikarasu sir, Registrar, Dr. Vijay Kumar, our University Librarian and Organizing Secretary of G20 Library Summit, and all the luminous personalities on the dais, invited guests, faculty and friends, scholars and students. A very good morning to you all. I appreciate the presence of our Vice Chancellor, who found some time to be with us and encourage us to go along with G20 Library Summit. He is the one who never aspire less in order to reach the greatest heights. Thiruvalluvar's Ennuvadellam Uyarullal is his philosophy. Continue to support us, sir, in all our efforts, especially the library, who is now emerging as an hallmark of excellence. The G20 has committed to using digital technologies to bridge the digital divide in education and support teachers in keeping up with technological advancements. The leaders also emphasized the importance of inclusive and high-quality education and skill training for all. Through its discussions, the G20 has emphasized the need for governments to invest in education and prioritize it as the fundamental human right. This recognition has led to increased government spending on education in India, ensuring that resources are allocated towards providing quality education for all. The G20 Library Summit is a pioneering international event dedicated to advancing the role of libraries in knowledge, education, and cultural preservation. Organized by Pondicherry University, this summit brings together library professionals, policy makers, educators, IT professionals, and cultural experts from G20 member nations to share knowledge and shape the future of libraries in a rapidly changing world. The G20 Library Summit aims to highlight the pivotal role of libraries in promoting knowledge, access, information distribution, and cultural preservation. Under the overarching theme of connecting nations for knowledge and cultural heritage, this summit will serve as a platform for dialogue, collaboration, and innovation. Ever since the proposal reached to start G20 Library Summit, our librarian, Dr. Vijay Kumar, spent many a sleepless night for the success of this event, the first of its kind in any institution of higher learning. That is why our Prime Minister, Honorable Narendra Modi, has sent us a personal message where he observed, "It is most heartening to learn about G20 Library Summit being organized at Pondicherry University. I am sure that the students, researchers, academicians, librarians, as well as domain experts will learn from each other. This will also help from abiding relationship with other. Best wishes for the success of the G20 Library Summit 2024. These are the words of our Prime Minister, and the remarkable thing that I noted in the letter is the personal favor that the Prime Minister has added to it. It is not the one that came from his PA, but he himself wrote it. Such a big complimentary letter. Naturally, we must be proud of it, not only our librarian, but Pondicherry University with the stewardship of our Vice Chancellor. I congratulate the librarian for his selfless devotion to duty utmost commitment to the enterprising task of organizing this significant event. I also congratulate the team of the library staff whose wholehearted cooperation has yielded the desired goal. There is a saying that when the philosophers say, know thyself, the librarians would say, know thyself, because that is more important than the other one. I hope that this summit would help us to search for all the shelves in order to find out knowledge. That is one of the fundamental requirements of our age. Thank you one and all who contributed their might for the success of the summit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presence here. Your presence has always been an encouraging factor in numerous events. I have also known him as the Dean of Humanities. His light-hearted jokes and speeches have, kept us going in all times, good and bad. Thank you so much for your support and encouragement in numerous ways. Now I would call upon Dr. Devika P. Madali for the inaugural address.
Namaste. Professor Taranikarasu, our professional friend, Dr. Vijay Kumar, all the dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, and my young students, researchers, and professional colleagues, friends. It's indeed an honor to be amongst you in this August gathering. I would start by thanking the organizers, Pondicherry University, especially the staff of the Ananda Rangapillai Library, especially Dr. Vijay Kumar and his team, who have put together this very unique idea to bring together the G20 people and contemplate on what libraries can really lend to the whole discussion. For a year long or 2 years long, India has been engaged with G20 at various levels and various forums. But as you had noticed before this, the discussion particularly focusing on libraries was missing till Dr. Vijay Kumar really envisaged that and brought us together here today. For this, I congratulate him. Connecting Nations for Knowledge and Cultural Heritage. This title is so meaningfully worded, in my opinion, especially in the context of G20. If connecting nations is the goal, I can say that libraries certainly can be the connectors. Libraries serve as intellectual hubs, fostering knowledge, innovation, and cultural exchange. In the digital age, they play a pivotal role in bridging information gaps and promoting global literacy. Today, in the digital world, data plays an important role. Data is the basis for all research, all decision making, and all government welfare schemes, and many, many other things. And just as the recent pandemic has proved, seamless cross-border data flow is very crucial if we are to solve global issues. There are indeed strides to be made in breaking the barriers to seamless data flow and releasing it as a common good. In this regard, libraries have a significant role to play. By their very nature and DNA, libraries are about data and about information. They are wired to go after information, gauge and judge the relevance of the sources that are there in the market. Then they source them and they process the entire thing and do the whole process required to deliver meaningful services. If we talk about knowledge societies, libraries are right at the pivot. Now coming to the issue of sustainability, I think this was mentioned a couple of times here and it is also one of the sub-themes of this conference. The issue of sustainability and sustenance is also the focus here of this conference, and I'm sure the delegates have various papers and discussions in this regard. But it is also brought very rightfully here. Who is better informed than the G20 about the imminent issues that face us about sustainability? Even as we speak today, there's a plethora of data being collected against each of the UN SDGs. We know this already is happening. However, I have one question. Are libraries involved in this process? This question is an open question. Maybe yes. If it is yes, in what capacity? And to what extent are libraries involved? I'm not only talking about the Indian context, but I'm talking about the entire thing, how the UN SDG data gathering, data processing has been envisaged. I am, by the way, the co-chair of what is called the Research Data Alliance interest group on UN SDGs, and we did a lot of studies regarding this, and that's what makes me think about the role of libraries over here. So in what capacity are libraries involved, or they were ignored for most part, or only involved peripherally in some instance? If that is true, then we, the librarian information fraternity, must also take responsibility. It is we who must make ourselves indispensable to such an activity as UN SDGs. It is not enough that the national statistical offices collect data and keep supplying that. It is imperative that the library's knowledge and expertise in handling data, curating it, organizing it, should be utilized. While emphasizing the role of libraries for cross-border data flow, I, on my behalf and on the behalf of the library fraternity, call upon this community, which represents the G20 community, to start a G20 library cooperation to achieve equitable and undeterred access to knowledge and data. As it was already mentioned, I've had the privilege to work as a technical advisory board of the Research Data Alliance, and I'm a co-chair also of the Research Data Commons IG. The forums such as RDA have been convening the world communities to deliberate on responsible sharing of fair and care data, and they have already published outputs shared in the open domain. As we march towards realizing the goals of open science, libraries have a major role in ensuring fair and care compliant open data, and that it will be made available and through the proper conduits for sharing for co-sharing the data. In this context, we at InflipNet extend all our support to the process, and even we have thought of a roadmap for a framework for identification, evaluation, selection, curation, and management of SDG data. At whatever part of the cycle of this our service is required, we are willing to cooperate with you people. We are at your service. Friends, as we gather in the spirit of collaboration, let us recognize and support the vital contribution of libraries to education, to research, and the dissemination of ideas, especially within the G20 community. I once again congratulate the organizing team and wish this summit all success. Thanks very much.
Moving on, we have the presidential address, and for that I call upon our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor K. Taruni Karasu, who joined us in September 2010 as a professor and then quickly took over the position of HOD in his Department of Chemistry. And while serving his tenure as the head there, he also served as the registrar in charge and controller of examination for about 9 months. And after that, subsequently, he also took up the position of Director of Studies for numerous years, and in all these capacities, he has been serving the university and also, playing a very important part in facilitating the growth of the university on all these various capacities, and he's also known for his very modest and humble nature. So we are very pleased to have you, sir, and really look forward to listening to you.
Thank you, Dr. Ritu, for the nice introduction. And good morning, everyone. I don't know, I am very fortunate or unfortunate to be the last person to talk, because already it is a very lengthy inauguration. So everyone may be little tired, but I can expect that being a librarian or library people, you have more patience to read or to listen also. So with this, first let me wish our dignitaries in the dais, Mr. Andrew Sokolov, Director for Business Development, New Poisk, Moscow, Russia, Professor Constantine Motak Nyambogo, Vice Chancellor, Lukenya University, Kenya. Professor Devika Medali, Director in Flipnut Center, Ahmedabad. And our own Director, Professor Clement S. Lourdes, Director of Culture and Cultural Relations of Pondicherry University. And Organizing Secretary, Dr. Vijay Kumar, a librarian of our university, and our Registrar, Professor Rajneesh Bhutani, and Controller of Examinations. These are all statutory officers who are running this university, and all the deans, HODs and officers from administrative building, and professors, and Department of Information, Library and Information Science, faculty members, HOD, deans. Good morning, everyone. So it is about to be noon also, good noon also. So it is lengthy, as I told you. I just want to share some of the important points. I feel this is very important at this juncture. So when it comes to library, this is it plays important role in our life. So books, now it is going through a lot of transformations. So earlier, it is very difficult to get a book in those days. Once we decide to write a book, but it is only when they feel that we have something to tell to the society. That was the stage. But later on, it has become a business also. We have to accept it now. But in this juncture, it is your role is very important. So same, because this student committee also, they don't know. There are so many titles in this book. So which book is good for us? So in this way, your role is very important, which is good book, and those are all very important to buy for to access for the students. So this is in this era, your role is very important. Second thing is at the advent of national education policy, our government, Indian government, has proposed to start the teaching at the school level, or even at the undergraduate and postgraduate level, all these subjects in their own mother tongue. So this is the very long process, and we don't have in India, we don't have a book in our mother tongue. At school level, we have a book in their mother tongue, but once we reach into the college, and especially the higher learning, we don't have a book, proper book. Some states they have started it, but still, I could say they have failed it. There is no good book. But now, our central government has started this the task of writing a book in our own mother tongue. And in this, also in this juncture, the library roles are very important, and collecting the books in our own mother tongue, and giving importance and financing them also, talking to our administrative staff or whoever is sanctioning the money to buy these our own mother tongue books. That is very important at this stage. So at present, I know, because when I was in Japan, I was there in Japan for 2 years. So there, I could not see any, even reputed books, whatever we are seeing here in our own subjects, in English. So whatever the book, whether their book is very famous or the translated book is very famous. So you can say that may be the reason for them they are excelling. Any knowledge, they have abundant of knowledge compared to us. compared to us, they have abundant of knowledge. Whatever the subject it is. So in this subject, I think the library should play a major role for collecting the books in the mother tongue. And another important thing is the collecting the our Indian knowledge system. There are ancient system in some of the culture is well documented, whereas unfortunately our Indian culture, Indian tradition, and all the knowledges which which has come out from the Indian system is not well documented because of many reasons. But now it is high time we have to write. We have to also encourage books in the Indian knowledge system, such as the Ayurveda and the yoga. These are the fields now we have to give more importance to write the books on this, and whatever the wisdom they had, and it has to be brought out in the form of books. So this is also the very important. And the third thing is the digital transfer. So whatever the books we have, whether we are completely transferring the books, because I know in Tamil language, there we always say the 5 important epics in Tamil, but only we have 2 or some of the third one, but 2 other is really missing. What was really there, we don't know. It is in this also the collecting the old data and digital transformation of this data also the library should play a major role. And another important subject is our United Nations are now proposing for the sustainable development goals. I could see there were no good books on these subjects also. How to sustain, how to have these different technologies or different systems where we can have the globe sustainable, we can sustainably develop this. So these are some of the areas I thought I will share where the librarians and the library science can concentrate on this. So with this, my phone is ringing. I think it is high time I should stop. Thank you very much.
As we move towards the fag end of the program, we cannot conclude without a sense of gratitude. And I'm very glad to invite Dr. M. Bhaskar, the Assistant Librarian at Pondicherry University, who has been working incessantly to make this event a success. I'm glad that he has the concluding words. Over to you.
Good morning to all. Thank you is such a word that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to propose vote of thanks on this special occasion. I, on behalf of the organizing committee, convey deep regards and hearty thanks to our Chief Patron, Honorable Vice Chancellor, for inaugurating the G20 Library Summit and delivering a thought-provoking presidential address. Thank you, sir. I express our sincere gratitude to Professor Devika Madali, Director, InflipNet, who delivered an inspiring inaugural address. Thank you, ma'am. My sincere thanks to our library team. I can't thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comforts. If time is money and the energy, then today you have spent millions for us. Thanks to all of you for making this event successful. Have a wonderful stay and enjoy the 3-day conference in Pondicherry University, Puducherry. Thank you all once again. Thank you.